All right, and take a deep breath, everybody, and go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. So by focusing on your word or phrase, or by focusing on your anchor, or by focusing in on everything you love and appreciate about your subject. Very good. And start to feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest, that kind of swelling of love. Very good. And then allow that light or energy, that ball of light or energy in your chest to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each little cell just for existing. Very good. And then allow each cell to produce its own unconditional love. Imagine each cell producing that light, that energy, that love, and allowing it to spread to the cells around it. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill yourself as a child, any age, and love that child just for existing. No judgment, no expectations. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today. All those who are on camera, all those who are off camera, loving each one just for existing. Very good. Good job. All right, let's check in. So before we start, there was some discussion before we started recording on a topic that I want to address first to help those from different perspectives. So I'm going to start with, if you know that something bad is happening. So, there's a lot going on in the world at the moment, all kinds of things internationally and locally and politically. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment that's triggering. And there's a lot of things that, people being horrible to each other, all of that kind of thing. Now, the question often is, so the point is, if you can't change it, focusing on it is not going to change it, and it is going to hold you back. It is going to damage you in some way. The tricky bit comes, but if I ignore it, if I don't focus on it, well, then nothing's ever going to change, right? And so change in the world has happened because people have made change happen. So they have held rallies and sacrifices and done all kinds of stuff to try and create change in the world. And that is how progress has happened. But here's the most important thing. So here's the guideline. If when you think of whatever the challenge is, whatever the situation is that's triggering you, when you think of it, if you are filled with inspiration, compassion, and a drive to change it, and you feel good about changing whatever it is, then that's absolutely fine. That's wonderful. And then you can figure out, right, so what can I do? Who do I need to speak to? How do I get people's attention? As long as it's all strategy. If, on the other hand, when you think of whatever the situation is, you're feeling upset, angry, frustrated, worried, frightened, anything like that, any negative emotions, then what the fact is, you cannot do anything, because even if there was something you could do, you don't have your prefrontal cortex online anyway. So all that does, the only thing, if you are looking at a situation and you're feeling triggered by it, all that's doing is damaging you. It's not doing anything to change anything else. And that is not helpful to those people in whatever situation it is. So that is like climbing into the quicksand with the people who are suffering and just suffering along with them. And that doesn't help anybody. It's okay, but just understanding that that's what you're doing. You want to stay on the outside. You want to stay on the outside on firm ground where you can then come up with a strategy for helping those who are suffering. So this is the difference between compassion, empathy, and sympathy. Sympathy, you get in the thing with them. No, sympathy, empathy, you get in the quicksand with them. That's not going to help. Just suffering along with you is going to help. That's empathy. Sympathy is sitting on the outside feeling sorry for them. Again, it's not going to help them. Compassion is making sure you're on firm ground and then throwing them a rope. That's compassion. Okay, so hopefully that helps. So that's from that side. Now, the other question we had was, when someone's talking about something upsetting or triggering, how do we, and we don't want to, as we hear it, because you hear something, your brain forms a memory of it. Your brain forms images instantly, images and sounds and feelings and whatever's there. It represents that thing. Remember that the brain cannot tell the difference. The brain and body can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. So as you think of something, as you hear something very often, your brain automatically starts producing the stress chemicals that go along with it. And some people are able to distance themselves. Some people are able to just observe without getting into it. Other people are more sensitive, and as they hear it, they feel upset immediately. And it's going to depend on what references you have and so on. So I started to say, someone very close to me who I love very much tends to describe the terrible details of things and how people are suffering. And because of the superpower, I've developed the ability to listen to things like that and hold my state of unconditional love. I used to be sucked into it. I used to get upset. I used to, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me. And it was too late. And then it was playing in my head. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it. So, but my sister has not so far been able to do that. She can't watch movies where somebody is suffering or in peril of any kind, because her brain immediately runs away with it and starts playing with it and getting and then the imagination can often be even worse than the original, and so on. So the answer for that is practicing the superpower state as much as you can, and the more you do, the more you are able to stay in that state of compassion and love and feel that for whoever. So whatever's going on, the people who are bad, the people who are suffering, and so on, aim love and light, shine that light into the darkness. Just shine the light into the darkness. It can be tricky. It can be very tricky. And the best option is certainly, as much as possible, where you can, not expose yourself to those kind of details and things. But if somebody is talking about it and you don't want to hear it, you can say, sorry. You can say it nicely. And you say, sorry, my brain can't handle that. I get too upset. So that's a way of saying it nicely, and it's true, and it's respectful. So it's not, you're not saying that person shouldn't be saying it because they're saying it, that's their business, but your ears don't want to hear it. So, and explaining why. Saying I'm sensitive and I can't, it upsets me too much. I can't stop thinking about it, or something like that. then the person will understand and go, oh yeah, okay, sorry, I didn't, whatever, and so on. If they insist, then you can take whatever action you can take. If you say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call you back, or there's my bath water's running, or whatever, you can excuse yourself. So do whatever you can to, and then immediately make sure that you fill your mind and yourself with your favorite color. Be surrounded by that beautiful color. So bringing your focus back to the color and your subject. What do you love? What do you love about them? Just controlling that focus and bringing your mind back. So hopefully that answered those questions. But if not, when I come round to you, just let me know. So Sue, you're first up on my screen. How are you today?
I'm okay.
Good.
But I am feeling a little bit sort of, the fight in me has been aroused.
Okay, good. And how's that?
It's sort of like, it's my knowing what's happening and being aroused by it. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, like aroused doesn't, it's caught my attention. And right. I dare say that I feel particularly protective or emotional or whatever because of what my parents went through.
Okay, good. All right, very good.
And I get angry. Yes. I get extremely angry when it is something that seems to be being, I don't know, like the words that come in my mouth is that people are not brave enough to actually look at it and go, this is not right. And something has to be done.
Okay, good. All right. So tell me what can be done. What is it that people that can be
done?
Well,
if more awareness was made, in my opinion, if more awareness was made, then there could be some kind of influence from outside of the country that could happen, that could start making people, the people that run the country, the people that are behind this, face consequences, like really heavy consequences.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. So, and this has been a very this is not an unusual thing. This has been, you and I both grew up in South Africa during apartheid. So this is not a new thing, not in South Africa and not in other countries. There's a lot of countries where bad stuff is happening. People know about it, but that doesn't necessarily change it. So
this is bad on a different level.
Sure. So and again, this kind of thing has happened before in other countries. Maybe not exactly the same.
Yeah, okay.
But stuff like that has happened. I mean, the Middle East, and there's loads of places where terrible things have been happening, and or there's lots of stuff, and people make aware, and you see the Facebook posts, and everybody's aware of it. But what it does is make people feel bad, but they're not taking action. And even when they take action, very often, it doesn't stop a dictator or the bad people who are in government and all that. What does make change is when people are strategic, they're not emotional, they're driven and they're passionate, but they've got the prefrontal cortex online, they've got their cognitive thinking online, and it's strategic. This is what we need to do. Generally, spreading it about the general population just upsets people. There's nothing that little person can do. Even petitions don't have a huge impact on people who are really bad. or doing bad things. If this is like if these were people who didn't realize they were doing something bad, and then you point it out to them and they go, oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't realize, and then they stop, fair enough. Then, let's make them aware because they weren't aware before, or that kind of thing. But people who are driven by whatever their programs are and are doing terrible things are not going to go, oh, okay, yes, I understand, I won't now.
Mm.
Okay, so, but the best chance you have of making change is getting into a strong state yourself, meaning a strong state of empowerment, not of victimhood, not of feeling, there's nothing I can do and this is terrible, not being emotionally triggered. Being in a state of compassion and love. So look at Gandhi. Great example. Gandhi wasn't, oh, this is terrible. He wasn't triggered. He was strategic and he was coming from a place of compassion, right? And there's plenty of them. There's plenty of people like that set that example. Mandela is a fantastic example of that. So it's coming from a place of calm, compassion, understanding, unconditional love, so that you are in a strong state, and then you can think straight. And then you may find yourself going, I know what would work. We need to do that. We need to contact this person, or we need to get this petition. And, then you've got strategy. But generally, number one, focusing on the terrible details is definitely not going to help anybody. That just pumps more and more stress chemicals into your system. It creates horrible images, which create more stress chemicals. And so you get into that cycle. And then your brain gets fixated on it because it sees it as danger and it doesn't want to let go. And then you can't do anything else. Does that help a bit to explain?
Yeah. And maybe this is just too complex and too much to deal with right at the moment. It's just too much. When I say too much, it's because it goes so far deep, and there's just so many aspects that combine to create a kind of and I suppose also debate and stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing.
Where is the line?
Yes, but here's the thing. No matter what the details are, no matter who is doing what and what's happening, and no matter what the details are, none of that changes the fact that when we are emotionally triggered, we can't think straight. And getting into a calm, strategic state is always going to be the most effective option. It's never, ever going to be get triggered, get emotional, get upset, and then make changes. So what the details in that don't even come into it in that first stage of, I'm going to focus on getting strong inside me and getting my brain and body into that state of unconditional love so that I can think straight. And then I will come back to this and I will see if there's a solution. And as soon as I start to feel triggered, I'm going to pull away again, get back into that state. Because as soon as I start to feel triggered, it means I'm getting too close to the edge of that quicksand and I'm going to go into it. And then I can't help anybody. Does that make sense?
Yes, but then there's also a but.
Okay, give me your butt. Pardon the expression. Huh? I said, give me your butt. Pardon the expression.
Well, Steve normally says no buts here, but anyway, this is a but.
Let's have it.
Now I've forgotten what my butt was. Oh. It's that, like if there's not an awareness, that goes like, that can be sort of maybe like, take your breath away kind of shock initially. But if there wasn't that kind of awareness of that gets your attention, which is emotional, because I think your attention is normally grabbed by something emotional. You know, if it doesn't hold an emotion, then it's not going to get your attention.
Okay.
So if it's something that gets your attention, and it is emotional, and it's emotional in a reactive, what one would call negative way, maybe it's actually not that negative, because it is those emotional things that drove people like Gandhi or Mandela or anybody else to change the things that they changed.
But do you see how they were the type of person? So there's not lots of Gandhis and lots of Mandelas. The general population is not made of those people.
No.
Those specific people in history, throughout history, had the ability to stay in a state of compassion and still address injustice and terrible things. They had that ability to not climb into the quicksand. The problem is, when you're talking about, oh, let's spread awareness, you're spreading the awareness to 99.9% of the population who cannot do anything and will just be upset.
Or maybe people could just say, okay, like I shared a post.
I just want to say, if you know there's a person, okay, there's a Mandela or a Gandhi or somebody like that, I will write them a letter and tell them what's going on here and see if they can. You reach out to specific people who have the ability, or at least the potential, to help. Spreading it generally is just upsetting to people, because we know just in this little group here how many in this group are able to stay in a state of compassion, unconditional love while they're looking at terrible things. It's not common.
No.
And this group
is not common
than anybody else, than other people. Can you imagine when you start,
Yeah, I think that other people cope in certain ways. Some people will look and go like, I'm not going to look at that anymore. Or I'm not, and they keep like, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to look at that, because, you just keep turning your head away from everything.
Exactly.
And then other people will go like, whoa, that's not good. But then.
And how do the ones suffering?
Sorry?
So how does someone looking at it and going, oh, that's terrible, how does that help the people who are suffering?
Well,
because I'm assuming that people suffering don't
know
not. They just want the suffering to stop. People knowing about it could even just add, salt to the wound, because.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it sort of like energetically too, like where you, if you put attention.
But it needs to be love, not horror, not upset, not trigger.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what kind of attention it is on something that's not good. If it's like, well, I mean, okay, love, but if you, whatever kind of tension or publicity you make of something that's not good, then it actually builds it.
Exactly, more. Unless it's unconditional love. So if you're shining light into that darkness, that's why we do that.
That feels impossible at the moment.
Yeah, because, and one of the reasons it feels impossible is because you're very in it at the moment. So you need to pull out of it to give your body and brain a chance to lower those stress chemicals, and practice on other things, on easier things, get into that state. And then once you're in that state, then you can aim that light, shine that light into that darkness. And you're right, on an energetic level, that is going to do a lot more than feeling bad for them or how terrible it is.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Mm,
Yeah.
a little bit.
It takes some getting used to, and
It's lots of questions and sort of like, which I suppose is all about my own kind of belief systems, I suppose. Like it's my own, I suppose, yeah, that is. It's just my own belief systems that is sort of like maybe a little bit contrary to maybe some of the things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay. So
yeah.
something as well. You want to look at those references as well. What you said about it happened to something that happened to your parents. You want to change that, obviously, because that's driving the emotions behind this as well. So you want to definitely change those references as well. Now, as for the contradiction, the belief that contradict in that, what is an absolute scientific fact that has nothing to do with belief is that when you are upset or triggered in any way, you are not helping anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a scientific fact. So you don't have to believe it or not believe it. That's just what happens. In order to be able to help, and so which means that when you tell other people about something terrible, you're putting them in the same state. They also can't help anyone, right? Them getting upset is also not going to help.
I don't know. What I see is that, like sometimes is that those people are actually feeling love for the people that are being targeted at the moment.
Sue, from quite a lot of experience, the majority of people do not
won't feel like that.
They go to pity at the most. Pity, sympathy, horror.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, and that's why we teach what we do, is to help people be able to feel love. Because if you're sending love to those people, then it's certainly better than feeling sorry for them, because feeling sorry for them is definitely not going to do anything. And even if a person doesn't believe in spiritual, quantum physics, energetic and all of that, sending love is definitely not going to do any harm. Or imagining you're sending love is definitely not going to do any harm, but it is going to strengthen your own position. And then you might be able to think of something that would actually practically help. Just feeling sorry for someone, just feeling bad for people, doesn't help anyone, doesn't help them, doesn't help you, doesn't help your loved ones, the people around you, because they're affected by how you're feeling.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. It takes a while to process as well, because it is going against everything you've known and everything everything that's driven you so far. So it's natural for there to be some dissonance there. Absolutely. And so it's just a case of letting it sit and maybe rewatching this video, rewatching this recording to remind yourself of the pieces, and you'll get them on different, you'll get deeper understanding on different levels as you re-listen to it, revisit it. Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I know that'll happen, and I'll come up with all sorts of questions and stuff like that, which I can also just write down and
absolutely
try and mull through and just see like where I'm actually coming from.
Yeah, and
I mean, I know where I'm coming from. I really know where I'm coming from, and I feel quite vehement about that. I don't know why.
Your subconscious is driving that. Your subconscious is pumping chemicals into your system that make you feel vehement about it. And so that's normal. So yes, make a list of questions, ask them. You know that I'm always happy to answer questions. And the thing is that while you are focused on the terrible things happening out there, what you're also doing is disrespecting and neglecting yourself and the child in you, because your focus is then not on taking care of what's inside you. And that's a very important piece as well, because every time you feel negative feelings about out there, you're pumping stress chemicals into that child and upsetting her, that part of you. And then she never gets a chance to heal, because every time you change memories, I had a happy childhood, you're pumping stress chemicals into them every time you think of those things. Do you see it? Do you see that? It's like going on a diet, not having sugar and then eating donuts and going, well, but the donuts were there or whatever.
Well, they're donuts and that's sugar.
Right. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good point. So hopefully that's plenty for you to mull over, and then
Yes.
bring your questions tomorrow if whatever comes up for you.
Yeah, we're going away tomorrow.
Okay. Or whatever.
Get away. Go and watch some flamingos.
Good. And that's the way you want to live your life.
Yeah. That's my thing.
If you were a politician,
I beg your pardon?
I say, if you were a politician or an aid worker or something like that, then fair enough. You would be thinking, okay, I need to find ways to make this change and that. But you're living your life and you have compassion. The best you can do as a private person is send love and go and watch flamingos.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Sue. Thank you so much for sharing that, because again, that's going to resonate with others as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, and I meant to say at the beginning, I need to finish at 1:45 today, because I have a session at 11. So I'd actually forgotten about that. Tina, how are you?
Hello, good morning.
How are you today?
I think I'm okay.
Good.
I want to say thank you for teaching us all this, and like now I know what is stepping stone means.
Yes. I
was using last time. I think this helped me, or maybe not. I don't know. But like I told you, I constantly see that. I mean, now it's less that I see the stepping stone in the school with that gypsy. Yes. Whatever I mentioned there. But I think this was working, or maybe not. I'm not sure yet. It's very fresh, everything. Yeah. But what's happened, I had a meeting with my manager at work about that situation I mentioned before. Yes. And I was kind of not argue, but kind of almost was argument, because I was keeping my version and I had only one version. Mm-hmm. And she was keeping different version. Like she wanted me to say it's my fault, everything. I didn't know how to do. Mm-hmm. She told me I should figure out myself everything. It's impossible. So I was like fighting, like with that gypsy. I took that gypsy like here on the sweater to the wall and said what I need to say. This was my stepping stone. So I was talking to her, and in the end, she was like, she said, so whose fault is that? And I was like, what? She's blaming me, it's my fault. And I was okay, I'm not going to blame her. I'm not going to blame anybody. I say, it's nobody's fault. Good for you. I didn't know how to open, and you didn't know, I don't know. Good. It was like shocking, and many things happened. She said, I'm going to address this, I'm going to address this. And I was a little bit scared. She's going to say something to my boss, but I didn't say anything. But in the beginning, I said to her, Paula, which is our boss, she gave me so much crap. I want to say nice way, but I didn't know how. So I didn't use word shit, I used word crap. And I said, okay, I think now I'm in trouble. But so next day I was like a little bit thinking, I couldn't sleep well, and I saw, my God, she's gonna address something, but I didn't care. I was so strong and keeping my version all the time. Mm-hmm. And I woke up very early in the morning and I couldn't sleep. I said, okay, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go watch a video, the one you told me about your experience. Good. And I did that, and I feel something inside me change. Like I have the power. This what I'm doing is really powerful. And I didn't believe before that much like I believe now.
Yes.
So I go to the superpower. I feel that power that strong. I send that love whatever I need to do and that stuff. And I was even doing, I think, the allowance technique. And I found 2 memories I changed. That was about my grandmother.
Okay.
And then I was so scared that my manager is going to say everything to my boss and my boss is going to fire me this time. I was so scared of my boss. So I did another technique and there was like another memory came up. So I fixed this and I feel more like I'm stronger, much stronger. I was checking the email, no email, nothing happened. Yesterday I went to work. Oh, and I figured out something because my manager told me I constantly saying I don't know. And I say, oh gosh, if she says that, probably I do. Steve told me, you told me, lots of people told me. I keep saying I don't know, and I didn't even realize. So next day I was thinking, I said, okay, I did all that stuff and I went to work and I said, okay, I'm gonna say to her, thank you, like you told me.
Yeah.
So I went to her and I said, thank you for showing me something I was doing. I didn't realize that and all that stuff. And this is what I meant. And then she was like shocked. I said, thank you to her. It wasn't easy for me to say, but I did. So everything, whatever is like so hard for me, I said to myself, I'm going to do it. Even at work, one girl, she said, we're going to have like Halloween party. We're going to put animals' ears, something like that. And I was like, no way, I'm not going to do this. And all that stuff inside was like that rebel and everything. But I fixed that memories. And now actually I like it and I'm going to do it. So I sent her email, let's party.
Oh, brilliant.
So everything kind of is good. So far, no email from my boss, which I'm kind of waiting. So I don't know, kind of is okay. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know if you can help me with this.
Okay, so very good, Tina. I am so proud of you. I cannot tell you how proud I am of you for all of that. And for, you know, for example, for watching the video, for choosing when you woke up to watch the video, very good. Everybody needs to make that kind of decision. When you're feeling worried or triggered, watch one of these videos. That's fantastic. And the, you know, following that decision to thank her, that is brilliant because it's empowering for you because you had an effect on her. She was not expecting that. And that was very, very powerful. So
she was like,
that's wonderful. Yeah, of course. That's it. So now to do with the I don't know, one that I used to have was, I don't know what to do. I used to I'd be going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And so the first thing I did was I started catching myself and turning it around to, I do know what to do. So I go, oh, I don't know what to do. And I go, I do know what to do. I always know what to do, even when I didn't know what to do.
I hear this before you told me and many times, and I still, even I caught myself 3 times at work. I said, I don't know, even to her. And I said, oh my God, she's going to kill me. Because she say, instead of, I don't know, say, yes, I got it. And I don't remember, I still do it.
And that's okay. So as soon as you become aware of it, so when, for example, you say it to her, you say, oh, I don't know. And then you can smile and go, oh, I just caught myself. I mean, I've got it. You can correct, and she will be impressed with that. Correct yourself openly. She will love that, and she will feel that you are connecting. She will feel that connection with you.
Okay.
So every time
I don't know. I want to say again. You see? Yeah. Jesus, what is this?
So this is very important, Tina, and this is for everybody as well. When you say it, when you go, I don't know, as soon as you realize, don't feel bad about it. Doesn't matter. Just go, I mean, I've got it. Just correct yourself. That's all. Just correct it. It doesn't mean anything. The fact that you said it doesn't mean anything bad. It just means it's a habit. It's your brain is just doing it on automatic. As soon as you become aware of it, then you have the choice and you just correct it. And you can make yourself laugh like that. I would do it. Used to do it with myself out loud, all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You can say it out loud. I've got it. That's it. And the more you do that, the more then eventually it will become automatic. But it's not going to suddenly change overnight. It takes repetition. So that's why you will keep saying, I don't know, for a while you correct it and while you establish a new one. Does that help? I am aware of the time and I need to move on to Sadia. So well done, though. I am so proud of you and thank you for sharing that. Very, very good. Good job, you. And Sadia, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Very good.
Now, I just wanted to say how grateful I am for the sessions and especially for yesterday. Like, it's been like a month and a half since I received this gift that I didn't know I needed what I needed at that time, but couldn't feel grateful for it just because I felt, I was not deserving, and being able to switch that now, feel the gratitude, like, I'm eternally grateful for these sessions. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I am so happy to hear that. Good job, you. I'm so proud of you, Sadia. Good job, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. Oh, sorry. I muted you by accident.
No, I just say that was all being here. Like, yeah. Feel more peace and calm.
Yay. Thank you, sweetheart. Good job. All right. And then Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. I'll just say this really briefly. This is from your book. This is the technique part on 83 about using your superpower on difficult and negative people. So what we can do is we can change the settings on the control panel inside ourselves, which controls everything out there in our life experience, including other people. And your superpower is the way to do this. And that's
Thank you, Lisa. Good job. Yes, that's a good one. Very empowering. Excellent. And Steve, will you send me the targets? Thank you. All right. So let's go straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. Using your word or phrase, or using your anchor, or by focusing on your subject and everything you love and appreciate about them. Good job. Now allow that light, that energy to shine out from your heart. Feel that opening feeling in your heart, that expansion feeling. Very good. Allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Good job. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. And imagine each cell being able to produce that light, that energy itself, loving all the cells around it. Very good. Now allow that light, that energy to fill your subject, and then imagine your subject either doesn't want to be with you or doesn't have the qualities that you love and appreciate about them. Keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Very, very good. And let's go to Tina. Fill Tina with this light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina, just for existing. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to fill that part of Tina that is trying to feel powerful and strong and confident and positive. Even if it can't feel powerful and strong and positive and confident, love it anyway. Love the whole of Tina, no matter what. Good job. And now to Lisa. Fill Lisa with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa, just for existing. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Lisa and fill her daughter and son and everyone to have financial wealth and a peaceful planet, whether there is financial wealth and peace or not. Love it all anyway, shining this light into any darkness. Very, very good. Good job. And now to Sadia. Fill Sadia with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sadia, just for existing. Very good. And now to Sue. Fill Sue with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue, just for existing. Very, very good. And now to everyone who's off camera today and all those watching the recording. Fill all of them with this same light, this energy, this love. Loving them exactly as they are, no matter what they're dealing with. Loving them anyway, shining light into any darkness and loving it all anyway. Very, very good. And now sending this light, this energy to yourself later today, whatever you'll be doing, feeling or experiencing. Love that version of you exactly as you are and no matter what. And surge. Surge again. Good job, everybody. You can open your eyes if you have them closed. And I need to get on to preparing for my next session. So lots of love to all of you. We will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye now.